So, hello. A few months ago, I finished Frieren. I was originally supposed to make this video in October of last year. Now, you're probably asking, Speeve, if you finish a show in October,
why are you just now posting it in May?
well, I really had no clue on how I wanted to make this video. I had 3 ideas, but eventually I just went down to my breakdown path. Anyways, starting video. This is Frieren's group at the start of the anime. Heiter, Eisen, Himmel, Frieren. You're going to be seeing a lot of these guys. Wait, you think I mean they're going to stay alive? No! This episode is just a build-up to Himmel's death. But just like Charlie Kirk, you can't get enough of him even if he's dead! This is Fern, and unlike that massive skill issue that Himmel has, she's actually alive, and has hair, which is more than what Himmel can say. Heiter asks Frieren to help Fern with magic, which she does. Heiter asks Frieren, man, again? If Frieren can take Fern as an apprentice.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump.
Do it, I ain't got all day.
Yeah, Heiter got the Himmel treatment.
Huh? What's that face?
Frieren and Fern travel to the village where the demon Qual was sealed at. You see that hair clip of Fern's? Yeah, Frieren got that for her birthday. So Frieren and Fern went to this village so that they could kill the demon, because apparently there's an expiration date on how long he can stay sealed away. So Frieren releases him.
Have I been gone that long? Himmel, you really let yourself go.
So Qual has this spell called Zoltrok, or however you say, I have no idea. So Qual starts spamming his magic and then looks up in the sky and sees Frieren. Then she kirks him with his own move. They get praised, and just like my dad, they leave. It's been 28 years after Himmel's death. Man, Frieren, let him go! Anyways, Frieren and Fern spent 3 months helping a village burn debris from their beach. We also learned that Frieren is a very heavy sleeper and gets very tired when woken up. A tradition that this village has is to watch the morning sunrise every new year. But you know, because of the debris, they kind of can't. So Fern and Frieren offer to do it. Probably because the Frieren party is the reason why it's even there in the first place. But we don't talk about that, okay? They watch the sunset and then goes to find Eisen. But this interaction isn't that important, so I'm just gonna completely skip it. What does she want? Hello?
You need to start explaining things better because not everybody knows. Not everybody knows what this series is about. Okay.
What? Frieren went to Eisen to see if there's anything that she could do for him. Eisen knows that Frieren also asked Heiter this question before he passed away.
Because Heiter is a snitch!
He has them help him find the notes of Fommel. Frieren tells him that most of the notes are fake, but not this one! They eventually find the notes that they were looking for. This is Fommel. I think I'm pronouncing that. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. She is a human mage and the master of Frieren. So in these notes, there's this heaven type area in the north. So they have to head to Inda. But the problem with that is that Inda is like super scary and it's, you know, there's demons. It's ruled by the Demon King now. Anyways, they head off.
I now know it as Aureole.
Apparently this journey is worth 10 years. Who knows if Fern even has that life left? While traveling, Fern and Frieren is attacked by the Insom Phantom monsters. Yeah, they use the deep memories of the victims to create illusions to put them in a false sense of security. Luckily I wasn't there because the illusion for me would be my dad walking out with the milk. See, what did I tell you? You're gonna see them again. Just not alive. Frieren and Fern both kirk their phantoms. Except I heard Charlie Kirk joke in 3 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm so washed. So Frieren and Fern spots a solar dragon that is holding a grimoire that Frieren wants. Fern attempts to fight the dragon, but fails, and they run away. Then they realize that they need a strong frontline fighter. Maybe someone with red hair, maybe an axe. If only there was somebody who was like that. Oh wait, Eisen told Frieren that he has an apprentice somewhere down where she was going. This is Stark. I am a hero. I am the greatest. I am...
Fight that dragon for me then.
No. So in this village, Stark is seen as the hero because he scared off, in quotations, the big dragon. But in reality, the dragon just didn't see Stark as a threat. Stark is training at night and Fern finds him. Fern realizes that Stark has no intention on fighting the dragon and considers himself a coward. He tells Fern that his scar wasn't even from the dragon and that it was from Eisen beating him up. Eisen was very abusive. Fern tells Stark that she believes that he won't run from the dragon because she had a very similar experience. Must have been super moving because he decides to fight the dragon. Stark accidentally lands a fatal blow on the dragon, killing it. Like those sweats in Fortnite, as soon as it dies, Frieren starts looting its body. Stark joins their party party, and they bail like my dad. The Frieren party arrives at the fortress city of whichever one, I don't care. Only to find that the northern checkpoint closed due to monster activity. It could take up to 2 years for the path to reopen. Frieren's okay with that. Frieren gets in trouble with the city guards. This isn't even the last time it happens. But the guard apologizes because they realize it's Frieren. The demons come to negotiate a truce, but Frieren, being so racist, she attacks them instantly, which gets her arrested. Frieren explains the reason why she's so racist is because from a little demon kid that they didn't kill in her past. I swear I'm not gonna be evil. I'm not gonna kill ya. You know, I'm gonna call this guy Count Granite because for the life of me, I cannot pronounce the other version. Granite attacks the demons, soldiers on all sides. Not really.
Soon.
One of the demons goes to Frieren's cell to assassinate her, but first kills the guard. This is Draft. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. He serves Aura the guillotine. Draft hangs Frieren, but she puts mana around her neck so she doesn't get decapitated. In retaliation, Dav tightens the string around her neck.
Any last words?
Nothing much, I'm just hanging around.
Want to see a magic trick?
Sure.
Not only does Frieren cut off one of his hands, she cuts off both! And out of pure racism, he gets assassinated. Frieren leaves the cell, then finds the dead body outside the door. Granite also finds the dead body, but realizes that Frieren couldn't have done it because she must understand how bad it is to kill a guard. So Grant grows rather suspicious of the demons because they lost one of their companions. This guy bites himself and uses his blood as a weapon. He spares Graf, but leaving him injured, but he does take him hostage to force him to lower the city barrier. Frieren is not slick. Frieren tasks Furnace Stark with taking down the two demons while she goes after Aura. Furnace Stark infiltrate the castles to rescue Graf. But these two are literally spawn camping, so it isn't fair. The two demons stop spawn camping and Stark tries to free Graf. And then Stark gets caught by the demons because he sucks at his job. The demon and Stark start fighting, but it was all just a distraction so that Fern can kirk him. They take Graft and bail. Aura has a whole army.
Of course.
Grant realizes that Frieren is not responsible for the slain guard, and he is regretful for arresting her. Fern and Stark are caught lacking by Aura's men. Lugnier has blood-based magic, while Lini has copy-based magic and can copy techniques and so forth. Stark gets badly injured, but keeps getting back up and eventually kills Lini by surprise, while Fern overwhelms Lugnier by her quick magic attacks and her demon-killing magic, Zeltrok.
That I do. 'Tis a shame.
Aura uses the scales to force her victims into joining her cause, which is... I have no idea. Frieren reveals to Aura that Fommel taught her to suppress her mana constantly to deceive demons into letting their guard down, which it works on Aura. Frieren now controls Aura, and Frieren tells Aura to kill herself. Heading towards the mountains, Frieren, Stark, and Fern are caught in a brutal blizzard. Stark collapses, forcing Fern to carry him to an emergency mountain cabin. Inside, they find Kraft, another elf who has been stranded there by the weather. Now they're forced to wait out the weather. I never realized how long this video would probably be, so I'm just gonna speed run these next few. This episode is Stark's birthday's episode. Nothing too noteworthy in this one.
Can you pull me out?
But my hands will get messy.
Come on now, please.
Let me think about it. No.
Why?
Because my hands will get messy.
But you would save a life.
But my hands.
But my life.
My hands.
Stark gets bitten by a snake and they have to go back to the priest.
Yo, didn't you refuse to save my life?
Not my fault you were stuck in mud.
He heals Stark and dips. This episode is just them trying to recruit Sign. Eventually he joins, but then leaves not too long after. Skipping episode 14 because it's just basically filler. I'm gonna put these next 3 to 4 episodes into one category because it's all basically the same area, so, you know. Frieren's party arrives at a village where everyone has fallen asleep, caused by a chaos flower. They realize that Stark has also fallen asleep, somehow. And not too long after, Fern starts falling asleep as well. Frieren also falls asleep, but is woken up by Sign, and Frieren destroys the plant. While moving away from the village, they remember that they have vitamin B. B for broke. So they accept a job where Stark gets to impersonate someone's son at a military ball to boost morale. As part of the job, Stark and Fern take dance lessons, which is used at the ball. Episode 16 is just them visiting one of Frieren's old friends. That's it. That's the entire episode. Frieren's party gets stranded in a village for a month by a blizzard. Again. And Sign finally decides to lead the group, and then Fern gets sick. So to travel to the northern plateau, they need to have a first-class mage to be with them. So both Frieren and Fern both register to become a first-class mage. The first test tasks the groups with capturing a specific supersonic bird within a highly dangerous forest. Frieren uses her magic knowledge and suppressive mana to limit the birds' habitats, forcing all the birds to gather at specific water spots so her team can capture one. They freeze the big lake so that none of the birds come over to it. Seeing this, the rest of the groups goes after Fern's group to take away their bird, because earlier they caught one. Frieren gets their own bird. Fern and her group gets ambushed by Verbel's team, but Fern quickly takes control of the fight. She completely dominates Era with non-stop basic attacks, tearing a huge trench through the forest and ending the battle almost instantly. At the same time, Frieren's group ends up in a dangerous standoff against the veteran mages Denkin and Richter. The two sides are stuck in a tense battle as they desperately try to hold on to their bird cages. To help their teammates, Frieren shatters the dome around them. And guess what? This dome was considered invincible before this. Shattering the barrier allows the pouring rain to enter the test area, which helps Frieren's teammates immensely. And that is test 1. So before I start this next episode, I do want to apologize for each time I butchered a name or just haven't tried to say the name. Apologies. Let's get into the next episode. After the first exam, the surviving mages finally get a 3-day break. Nobody's fighting for once. Fern is upset at Frieren and Stark for oversleeping. She barely talks to them, and the whole episode turns into Frieren and Stark trying to win back her approval. Frieren takes them to a famous restaurant in town. The place brings back old memories for her. The other mages spend their free time in different ways. Dinkin visits a restaurant he used to go to with his wife, while Ubel becomes oddly fascinated with Land's magic and keeps sticking close to him. Land clearly has no idea how to deal with her. And I wouldn't either.
Ubel's a freak!
At the end of the break, they finally go back to the exams. The second stage of the first class mage exam finally begins, sending the remaining candidates deep into the dangerous ruins of the king's tomb. Dinkin tries to organize everyone into a large group so they have a better chance of surviving, but the mages quickly split into smaller teams instead. Frieren and Fern decide to explore on their own, which honestly feels more dangerous for everybody else than them. Scent, yes, that is their name, one of the proctors chooses to follow Frieren and Fern just to watch them. Despite all of her experience, Frieren keeps falling for mimics and trapped treasure chests. Well, do you really consider it as falling for it if she's doing it on purpose, though? I don't know. As the groups move deeper into the ruins, things start getting worse. They find traps, and even a mysterious force starts creating stone copies of the participants themselves. These replicas have the same appearance, magic, and abilities as the original. And the episode ends with Deccan's group running into a replica of Frieren. Everyone immediately realizes they might be completely doomed. The group quickly learns that normal tricks like hypnosis do not work on the clones at all. Even experienced mages start struggling against their own copies. Fern quietly studies the situation and confidently claims she can be Frieren's replica herself, surprising the others and giving the team a possible plan. The group finally comes up with a way to beat Frieren's clone. Fern realizes that every time Frieren casts a spell, her mana detection briefly stops for a split second. It's a tiny opening, but enough for someone skilled to slip through unnoticed. It's also embarrassing for Frieren, which is funny. To prove it, Fern has Frieren cast a spell while hiding her own mana. For a brief moment, Frieren completely loses track of her. That's when everyone realizes Fern is the only person fast and precise enough to take advantage of that weakness. By the end of the episode, Frieren and Fern prepare to face the clone together. Even with a plan, no one looks confident about fighting something that strong. Frieren and her clone finally clash in a massive fight inside the ruins, blasting through the air and tearing apart everything around them. At one point, Frieren even turns debris into a rock golem, just to create an opening. Near the end of the battle, the clone suddenly releases an overwhelming wave of invisible mana that slams Fern into a wall and nearly takes her out of the fight. Is it just me or is my microphone kind of bad right now? Oh my god. But using that spell leaves the clone exposed for a brief second, giving Frieren the chance to destroy it. Earlier in the exams, Fern's staff gets broken, which really upsets her because it was a gift from Hyder. Frieren first suggests just buying a new one, completely missing the emotional point and hurting Fern's feelings on accident. Wow. Who would have guessed? Later, Frieren secretly visits Richard and gets him to repair the staff instead. Richard realizes how important it was to Fern. Frieren leaves the repaired staff on Fern's bed as a surprise. For one final exam, the remaining mages have to do a one-on-one interview with Cersei. Or however you say it. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I'm sorry. I am so... Frieren knows that she would never pass because Cersei hates her. I'm not even joking. And she didn't pass, but Fern does. The final episode is just this one guy who thinks he will be forgotten. Frieren says that he won't be, and the show, that's the end. That's the end of season 1. Whoa. Too bad that season 2 is not coming out anytime soon. Oh my gosh. No. You don't exist. You're not out. No. I'm not doing you. No. You're crazy. Well, that wraps up the Frieren video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and all that, check out my other stuff. And a good thing I do not have to do another Frieren. Gosh dang it.